This video is going to cover complex padding equations, including the easy-to-learn whole strategy. So the whole strategy is the main focus. What you do is you create a hole in your solution where anything can be added. So here's an example. 6 plus in parentheses, 0 times parentheses. You can add anything into that hole. It's also known as a garbage dump because you can dump any unwanted cubes that are put and required into this hole. Since 0 times anything is 0, it doesn't matter what goes in here. This is still going to be 0, and when you add 0 to 6, you're left with 6. So the stem here is 6. This is what matters. This is what constitutes the main part of your solution. Here, this is the hole where you can add anything you want to keep the stem the same. If I chose to add 8 minus 3 times 5, 0 times that, no matter what it is, would keep that at 0, and 6 plus 0 is 6. So when we have holes with addition and subtraction, our main goal is to add or subtract 0 from the stem. For example, this solution is 3 plus in parentheses, 0 times in parentheses, 9 minus 8 parentheses closed. 9 minus 8 is 1, and 0 times anything is 0. So this whole phrase here is 0. 3 plus 0 is still 3. If you see what happened here, this 0 just canceled out the 9 minus 8. And the stem, which is 3, which is the vital part of our solution, remained the same. The padding was just the hole there. Another example is 6 minus in parentheses 0 divided by in parentheses 5 times 4 minus 3 parentheses closed. 0 divided by anything is 0. 6 minus 0 is 6. And then finally, this is a little bit longer, but 2 times 7, which is the stem, plus in parentheses 0 times in parentheses square root 9 divided by 7 parentheses closed. The padding here is 0 times root 9 divided by 7 because this will all cancel out to become 0, and then 2 times 7 is 14 plus 0 equals 14. So when you have holes with multiplication or division, your goal is to multiply or divide 1 from the stem. Remember, multiplying or dividing anything by 1 keeps that thing the same. So we want to keep the stem the same by multiplying or dividing by 1. So in this example, 7 times in parentheses 1 to the power of in parentheses 5 minus 3. 1 to the power of anything is 1. That is a property of powers and roots. 1 power or 1 root, anything will keep that answer at 1 no matter what's in that root. But there's an exception. The phrase in the exponent or the phrase in the root has to be a positive integer, meaning it's almost a whole, but there's one little restriction. You need to make sure this is a positive integer, meaning it cannot be a fraction and it cannot be negative. However, that still leaves a large number of possibilities that will make a whole work. So we still consider this as a whole. 7 is the stem. It's what gets to our goal. It's the vital part. 5 minus 3 is the whole there. Here's another example. 9 divided by in parentheses 1 root in parentheses 4 times 4 minus 2. 1 root anything as long as it's a positive integer is 1, and 9 divided by 1 is 9. One final example here is 3 times 8 in parentheses divided by in parentheses 1 to the power of parentheses 4 minus 1 times 2. 4 minus 1 times 2 will always be a positive integer no matter which way you look at it, and 1 to the power of that is 1. 3 times 8 divided by 1 is 24. But you need to be careful here. Be sure that there is a 1 or a 0 available in the resources depending on the type of holing you're using. If there is not a 1 or a 0 and you start making a hole, you won't have the base to cancel out the hole. You also want to move the central parts of your solution, which are non-whole, to required or permitted so that they can't go into forbidden, because if they do go into forbidden, you might lose vital components of your stem. Remember, the stem is the important part of your solution, and you want to make sure that stays. Here's a drill. There's going to be 2 questions in this drill. There's a goal, and there are some cubes here. You need to use all 5 cubes here to create a solution to the goal. Think about what we did today. You're going to need to use padding to get there. Take some time to solve this problem. Pause the video if you need to. So the solution to this is 4 plus in parentheses 0 times 5. This padding is the one with addition. You add 0. 0 times 5 is 0, and 4 plus 0 is 4. Here's another problem for you guys. Same thing, except it's a little bit longer. It has more cubes. The goal is 24 this time. Here's a hint. Start by finding a stem and then create a hole that you can add the rest into. Okay, the solution for this one is, in parentheses, 8 times 3 divided by, in parentheses, 1 to the power of, in parentheses, 7 plus 5 times 4. 1 to the power of any positive integer is 1. 24 divided by 1 is 24, and that fits the goal. Thank you for watching this video on more complicated padding and equations, the whole strategy. I hope you learn this strategy and will be able to incorporate it in equation shakes. It is used quite a lot, so it's good that you have this in your toolbox now. Anyways, until next time, see you later.